Studio B. That's what we call this place.
Live from Studio B.
Here we are.
It's Saturday. It's Wednesday morning. Hi. Welcome to This Week in Film. I'm Nick Panunto, joined as always by Ray Radaminki.
Yeah.
Ray, happy birthday from last
Hey,
week.
thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
We remembered just as we stopped recording, and then we didn't want to turn it back on.
It's okay. I wouldn't remember your birthdays either. So.
And First Matt is here.
First Matt.
I'm back. Matt Vitri, that is.
Guys, how's it going?
It's First Matt. It's going great.
Oh, I forgot. Hey, welcome to This Week in Film. It's the weekly podcast. We all come together. We talk about the movies we watched this past week.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. You're so glad you tuned in.
Good times.
Ray, what did you see this week?
Wow, shot out of a cannon. All right.
My God.
So this week I watched the movie Fire in the Sky,
Awesome.
which
Classic.
is from 1993, directed by Robert Lieberman, starring D.B. Sweeney, Robert Patrick, Peter Berg, James Garner. So we talked about this movie a couple weeks ago when was it your friend Dan who mentioned it in his answer to the question? The question was, name a bad movie that had a particularly awesome scene. And that's pretty much what this movie is. I wouldn't call it a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's pretty run of the mill, middle of the road. But it does have one awesome scene that did not disappoint me at all. It was one of those things where I knew the scene was in the movie, so I was kind of waiting for it the whole time, which maybe made the experience a little better for me. But yeah, it didn't disappoint. So the movie is based on a true story called which is a book called The Walton Experience by this guy named Travis Walton, who claims that he was abducted by aliens in the Arizona, like in the mountains of Arizona.
They worked as woodsmen.
Right. Yeah, that's a woodsman in Arizona in 1975. So him and a bunch of his woodsman mates.
Some people call them lumberjacks.
Yeah, loggers, lumberjacks. They're working out in the woods in Arizona, cutting down trees. And they're on their way home from work one night, and they see something in the sky. And
Gotta go check it out.
So,
because at first they thought it was a fire.
Right. It's like a red light that is like shining from the trees, and they think it's a fire. So they drive towards it, and they realize that it's a unidentified flying object, which for all you kids out there is what a UFO stands for. And D.B. Sweeney's character, what's his name? Travis Walton. He gets out of the van that they're in, and like walks towards this UFO, and like is like looking up at it, and all the guys in the truck are like in awe of like what's happening. There's like a big light beam that shines down on him, and it like paralyzes him, and it's like almost like a bolt of lightning like strikes him, and he falls to the ground. They think he's dead, so they flee. And don't know what to do. They they drive like I guess 5 minutes away, and then finally they realize, oh my God, we left our friend. We're gonna go back and get him. And they go back to get him, and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So then they go back to their hometown that they live in, and they tell the police the story. And of course, they're met with a bunch of skepticism about this, because they're telling the police that their friend got abducted by aliens.
Right.
Or they don't say that he got abducted by aliens, but they say that he was struck down, they came back, he wasn't there. So they're getting flack for leaving their friend. They're getting flack for just the whole story in general.
Don't they suspect them of like murdering him?
Yeah, they do, because I mean, this guy disappeared, they were with him, and their story is so out there that the cops are just like, I mean, you guys are obviously not telling the truth. So then they agree to take a lie detector test. And the questions are kind of sketchy that they're being asked, almost in the ways to trick them. And they all pass except for one person who doesn't fail, but it's an inconclusive test.
These guys are walking by. Every week when they walk by the studio.
Walking past the studio.
Yeah. Fans, I guess.
The one guy who they don't tell you who it is, it gets an inconclusive test, and because of that, they don't pass the lie detector test, which apparently happened in real life.
Okay.
Like I said, this is a true story. So they're met with skepticism there, but then their friend Travis suddenly returns.
How does he come back again?
So he calls his friend and is like, "Are you there? You need to come get me." And he explains where he is, and they find him like by this old gas station, by a phone booth, and he's like completely naked and like covered in like goo, and like doesn't right. It's rated R. Doesn't remember anything. And
well, now the movie's different.
And doesn't remember anything. So
they're getting good.
So the people are like, yeah, he was abducted by aliens, but like he can't say that he was. He's like completely traumatized. He's got like bruising all over his face. So you don't really know what happened to him. And then like he starts to have flashbacks. And while he's home, after he comes home from the hospital, they're having like a party for him. And he's like in the kitchen, and he like all of a sudden has like the complete flashback of what happened to him. And that's where the scene comes from, is him like waking up in the UFO, and the aliens are like experimenting on him. And it's like the most like if you could think about like a shocking like way of like aliens like probing and experimenting on you, like this is it. And apparently it's like specific to what this guy in real life saw. Like this is like his like account of what happened to him in this UFO. And if that's what really happens to you when you get abducted, I do not want to get abducted at all.
Yeah.
This scene just like, I know it seems like I'm like hyping it up, but like it really is like crazy, like what they do to this guy and how like traumatizing that would be.
Yeah,
like needles and eyeballs and like goo shoved in his mouth.
Weird plastic.
Yeah, plastic like
weird sheet.
It's like a dental dam for like his entire body. I would describe it as.
Not familiar with that product.
What's dental dam?
like
I know what it is, but
no.
I don't use that.
No, like when you get surgery on your mouth or whatever, they put that big like plastic thing in your mouth, so it covers everything up but the tooth that they're working on.
I have a question. Now that we're talking about the scene,
I thought we were gonna keep talking.
Doesn't it? Well, just for like 1 second. Doesn't the Matrix kind of like steal that like a little bit?
What do you mean?
Think about it. I don't know. For some reason, when I saw the Matrix for the first time, I thought fire in the sky when like Neo wakes up. Anyway.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely when he wakes up in like in the pod,
pulling the stuff out of his
own.
That
is definitely taken from the Matrix, or the Matrix definitely takes from that. Yeah, 100%. I didn't even think about that actually, but that's a good point now that you brought it up.
But he's just being held down, like,
right?
Almost mentally, like
and these guys are just like doing whatever they want to him.
Yeah, and
then he wakes up and he's like walking down the street, like they like dropped him off.
See you later.
Right.
Thanks.
So the scene, that one scene, it's about like 15 minutes, is awesome. The rest of the movie, like it's good, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like it's what do you do if it's a story? It's a true story of people who saw their friend get abducted by aliens, and then they're trying to convince the town. It's got a lot of it has to do with like a small town, how a small town works. Mm-hmm. They do like they go to the church and they have like a town meeting, and you have the people standing up being like, "This is ridiculous," you know.
Our movies today have so many similar similar characteristics.
Yeah, so that part of it, like the movie as a whole, is like a classic B movie. Like it's not great or anything. The acting is kind of weak and not very good. But there are some good moments in it that I really liked. But that particular scene was great, and I'd never seen this movie before, so it was awesome for me to go back and watch it.
Who are these?
It's our groupies. They're bad
guys. Jesus.
But yeah, I loved it. Fire in the Sky. Definitely check it out, and definitely check it out for that particular scene because it will not disappoint.
The scene will stick with you forever.
Yeah,
I mean the goo.
Yeah,
like when they cut the sheet open and the goo starts going into his mouth, and then he can't scream anymore.
Yeah, very
then-
traumatizing.
Isn't there like a needle going towards
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
his
but like
eye.
the needle keeps getting longer
Yeah.
too, and then boop. Ugh.
I think the big problem with like that movie is that like how are you supposed to prove that happened? Like what's the
Well, yeah.
like what's the third act supposed to be in that movie? Like I
It's basically them all stop being friends.
yeah.
yeah.
Right?
Well, then that's
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. I
but-
mean, the movie came out in 1993. I mean, if you haven't seen it, sorry. And it's a true story. So if you look up the true story,
and we've
of
talked
these-
about it the last
yeah.
3 weeks too. so.
But apparently, like I was looking up the actual real life account of it, and apparently there's a lot of skepticism about it. Like even UFO truthers like have skepticism about this guy's story, mainly which they don't talk about in the movie. Like him and his family were UFO people. Like they
Oh,
were
yeah.
UFO like truthers and like read UFO books and like were big on aliens exist type of thing. So like they already had that in his past before this happened. So when it did happen, people think like, well, this guy like read all about this stuff and like but it still is one of the most famous accounts ever in the United States.
Yeah.
UFO.
I mean,
I mean, imagine if that happened today, like a group of loggers, one guy went missing and they said it was aliens, and then
he shows up.
a few days later he comes back when everyone like it would be all over that Nancy Grace show
Yeah.
that these
Yeah.
guys killed him, and then he just shows up. That would be world news.
Yeah. And
Especially
then his
since-
account of what happened too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like-
Well, especially since like all of their stories like corroborated.
yeah, they all tell the
And-
same story.
Yeah, but it makes you think like if he was not taken by aliens, which like whatever, where was he? Did he go on like
Yeah.
a vacation? Like what was he doing? Nowadays they could easily trace that. I would imagine like someone would be able to come out and say they saw him, but
I also really like the way that the aliens look in that movie. They have that. I said it before, but that's when like that the modern look of an alien with the big head with the big eyes
Yeah.
started to come around, and that's kind of what the alien looks like in that movie, except they look real. Like they just have tiny eyes.
They look almost like humans, like a form of humans, but
They-
they're
Yeah.
not.
they look
humans.
like remember that Fox like alien autopsy video that came out when we were all kids?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They look just like that
Yeah.
guy. Alien.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what aliens really do look like.
Who knows?
alien autopsy was real.
All right.
It was real, and everything else around.
Spaceman.
Yeah.
Spaceman.
All right, so Matt,
Hi.
what did you see this week?
I watched a lot this week, actually.
What one thing are we going to?
Well, we're going to talk about The Invitation, but
Oh,
so-
update.
Yeah, update.
Update music. Insert
Yeah.
update music here.
Yeah, I did see though. I
Up to
saw,
date. Up to date. Up to date.
oh my god, I saw Snowden, The Accountant, and this movie that everyone should watch on Netflix.
We're gonna talk about it next week.
I think Ray and I are going to talk about it next week because I told him to watch it. Everyone should watch White Girl on Netflix because
Girl?
it is fantastic. A lot of my friends have told me about this movie and told me that it is, it's reflective to their 20s in New York City. So watch that movie and then you can see what,
Yeah,
make your judgments about my friends.
I think I'm gonna talk. I think I'm gonna visit it this week, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. But
Yeah.
The Invitation.
The Invitation. For those of you who don't know, The Invitation is about a guy named Will, played by Logan Marshall Green,
Yeah.
who you've seen him in a lot of things.
Prometheus.
Yeah, he was in Prometheus. He was in Devil. A bunch of other stuff. He was actually in Snowden. He's been in a lot of stuff. Like you'll recognize his face, but you'll be like, "Where is I know this guy from?" That's kind of what I had. Anyway, so he is invited to dinner at his old house.
Right. His ex-wife.
His ex-wife's old. So basically, like what happens is their son dies before the movie starts. They have a son, and he dies, and the wife just disappears. And like 2 years later, she comes back, and she's having a dinner party with old friends, and he gets an invitation. He's now living with his girlfriend, and they decide to go. And when they get to this dinner, like right away, he starts to have like weird mental, I don't want to say like a breakdown, but he starts like having like flashbacks.
I think it's him being in his old house is screwing with him.
Yeah,
He
it's
hasn't
like
been
messing
back.
with
First
his
time he's
head.
been back.
And you think this guy's having like a mental breakdown the whole movie.
Right.
And they really play to that. Who directed this movie?
I think it's a woman.
Karen Kusama. Anyway, I probably said that wrong, and I'm sorry. But the movie's
Shout out.
yeah,
Sorry,
the movie's. I love the way this movie looks. Anyway, back to the story. So
You could talk about the way it looked.
we'll talk about that afterwards. But this movie, so they have his dinner party, and his old friends and some new people are there. His ex-wife is now remarried,
And she's weird.
and she is bizarre. And
Like,
the
spacey, like she's weird.
The new husband is also just something off about him. Their friend that they have he's very peculiar.
So the wife left him after the child
She
died.
just disappeared.
And then
I think
they
she like kind of went crazy.
but then like got remarried.
That's what you're made to
Yeah,
believe. They're
that's
made to
what you're
believe
made
is
to
like
believe.
she couldn't handle it,
Mhm.
and she leaves, and she hooks up with this new guy, and they move in. They move in together into his old Logan Marshall Green's old house.
Which is like a mansion in the
Right,
Hollywood
it's a really,
Hills.
really.
I
Nice
don't remember
place.
what he did for a living. Did they have this amazing house or
Yeah,
her?
they
I
don't really
know.
explain that.
Yeah, but they had this fantastic house with like his own movie theater and stuff inside of it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, so halfway into this dinner, they're played on a MacBook Pro was brought out by the new husband.
Should we wait? Hold on.
Oh.
Are we going to spoil the movie?
Yeah,
No,
why
here?
not?
no.
It's on Netflix.
Don't spoil it.
I mean, it's been on Netflix for a long time now.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, come on, Nick.
Ray did this movie at week 16.
No, yeah. See,
haven't gotten around
haven't
to
gotten
it.
around to it
we can
yet.
Still talk about
I don't know how not to spoil it and talk about it.
Well, no,
That's the problem Ray had too.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Here's
really good.
we've talked about it way more than I did. I barely even spoke. I don't even know why I even brought it up on the show because I had nothing to say. I was like, you haven't seen this movie, and you need to just go see it.
Did you see it in theaters?
No, I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Okay, all right.
Netflix. Shout
Amazon
out to
Prime.
Shout out to Amazon Prime. The one thing that is kind of frustrating with the movie is so he gets this dinner party and it's his ex-wife, her weird husband, and their weird friend are all there, and they're acting weird.
Yeah.
But then him and all his old friends are there too, and it's one of those things where you can see that something weird is going on, and he can see that something weird is going on, but all the other people there are oh no, they're nice people.
It seems like they're trying to get it, keep it together.
Right.
But no one poses the question of where have you been?
Right.
Why are you with this guy?
And it's so clear
You
that
just
something's
abandon your
off.
husband. Yeah, it's just so bizarre. There's something-
It's frustrating to the viewer because you're obviously something's going on here, but all these people are oh no, it's fine, blah blah. It reminded me of if you ever seen the movie Coherence.
Yeah, I did see that movie. Is great.
That awesome movie.
That movie was made for $60,000. You know that?
Yeah,
The
well,
movie's fantastic.
that's an
If you haven't seen
incredible movie.
Coherence, do yourself a favor.
Maybe
on Amazon Prime
yeah.
and Netflix. Check that
That's
movie
not
out.
a movie you can't really talk about.
I haven't
without
seen
spoiling
it.
it.
These are
Nick
both, by
hasn't
the
seen
way,
it.
these are both two movies that I want to say for all you young filmmakers out there. One location shot, I think Coherence was shot in 6 days.
Yeah.
It's the same
You
house.
don't need any special effects.
Canon 5D Mark IIIs. This movie, a little bit more high production quality, but it's all, I mean, aside from, I think, one scene that takes place in a car in the beginning, the rest of the movie is all one location and utilize. I mean, you get a real crazy sense of that space, but yeah, one location done very, very well.
Yeah, it's just the basic, without giving anything away, they get to this house and weird stuff starts to happen. And there's definitely ulterior motives between his wife or his ex-wife and her new husband. And as it starts to unfold, it starts to get really, really, really good and really creepy and very disturbing. And it's just it's a very slow burn of a movie, but it really it's very well done.
It does not
and the
disappoint
ending does
you.
not disappoint
Yeah.
either.
The last 20 minutes of that movie does not disappoint.
Yeah.
It's almost like a noir film that takes place in at a dinner party, and it's like a psychological thriller, but without being over the top. I watched this movie recently that was that reminded me of this movie. It was Would You Rather? And people, it's a dinner party, and people have to keep doing these weird, upping the ante.
Oh,
Do you know that movie?
I know. I didn't see it, but that's where
like one guy like
It's like
cuts
a-
out his
a
own cornea. It's like weird
because he
man.
won't let him stop.
Yeah,
right?
they won't let him stop till
Yeah.
someone like one guy is left alive at the end. Anyway, that's what this movie reminded me of. That the Imitation's not go that route, but I loved it. The ending of that movie is fantastic. Everyone should check this out. It's free on Netflix if you have subscription.
Shout out to Netflix.
Yeah, I mean if you don't have a Netflix account, email me and I'll give you my login to watch this.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
What's your email address? Matt?
It's matthewvitri@gmail.com.
Everyone email.
Everyone email me, please. I'll give you my Netflix login. You can watch this movie on me. And
And White Girl too.
and White Girl. Watch White
Talk
Girl.
about next week.
All right.
We're going to talk about that next week. We're going to spoil
Try
that
to watch
movie. So everyone watch White Girl.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Nick, what did you watch this week?
so instead of watching something good like you guys did,
Oh, great.
I watched Best of the Best 3.
Oh my god.
Continuing, huh?
Please talk about something
No,
else.
this one is the best one so far.
Oh.
Best of the Best 3, No Turning Back, starring
I just have one question.
yeah, please.
Did he make any money by selling the casino?
Well, we don't know. I guess he does because he has a well, maybe not. It's difficult to say. He only references the other two movies in one part.
Ray, did you listen to the podcast last week and get a sense of how the last movie ended?
No.
So basically,
All right. So
just tell them the
yeah.
premise because
So-
it's amazing.
Best of the Best 2. Oh, right. Yeah, because you didn't hear it. So
Yeah,
Best
it
of the
wasn't
Best 2. They're in Las Vegas. Chris Penn gets killed. And
I
Philip.
love the fact they're all like living together in the same house.
I'm not sure they all do, but it seems like they do. Philip Ree and Eric Roberts go to avenge his death by joining. Who's Vegas guy? Wayne Newton. Wayne Newton's underground casino
He
fight
doesn't
club.
play himself. He plays a bad guy.
And so there's a big guy that Tommy has to take down, and he does. Movie ends. Best of the Best 3 picks up. It's got to be a couple years later because Tommy no longer does karate. He doesn't train anyone anymore because of everything that happened.
Does he have like PTSD?
He doesn't have flashbacks or anything, but he's very upset about what happened in Las Vegas.
PTKD.
Right.
Post traumatic karate disorder.
and his car has Nevada plates on it, so that's like a throwback to them being in Vegas. Anyway, so he's going back to visit his sister, who lives in small town America. It's really nondescript small town, and he's going there. He's driving. He goes into town. On the way into town, he gets a flat tire, and he has to call a tow truck. He goes into a local diner, and there's a waitress who's very nice, and 4 white supremacists sitting at a table. Oh, yeah. This movie is all about white supremacists and hate. It is amazing. This was the funniest movie I have watched in a very long time.
Because when you think of white supremacists, you think of comedy.
I cannot convey how hard I was laughing while this movie was going on. It is so ridiculous. So Tommy has his little run-in with the white supremacists because he's Asian. They say, you're not sticking around. You're just passing through. That all stuff. So anyway, he goes to visit his sister, and on the way he meets.
Say too kindly to your
He
people
runs
on these
into
parts.
he runs into her husband, played by Christopher McDonald, who is Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore and thousands of other things. He's a good guy. And there's a local school teacher, played by Gina Gershon.
Ooh, Gina Gershon.
Wow, big cast.
And R. Lee Army plays a guy who has like a hate TV channel because the one character who's the son of the waitress watches the white supremacist TV channel.
Oh.
And then there's generic rednecky kind of guy who has like mutton chops. and he is we'll just call him
Generic redneck.
generic white supremacist guy. So that's your main cast right there. So the white supremacists spray paint on the local school the N-word, and they spell it wrong, but that's trying to show you that things are not good in small town America.
Right.
This used to be a good place, and now hate is taking over, and no one will stand up to these guys because they're afraid of them. So Tommy goes to visit his sister, and they're taking care of a child whose father was murdered in the opening scene of the movie because he preached about.
Is there any karate in this movie?
There is so much karate.
I was gonna say, so please tell me that he has to join a karate ring run by white supremacists.
It's so good. I can't. I feel like I got to tell the entire story, so I will.
Here we go.
Anyway, so they're taking care of this one kid, and then because Tommy's still in town, they get attacked by the white supremacists, and that's when the karate starts, Ray. He takes on 15 guys in the street in front of the ice cream store and just beats the crap out of everybody. And he uses his spray shaving cream can and hits, using it like nunchucks or whatever, because it's in a bag. And anyway, he beats the crap out of these guys. So many breakable furniture pieces these guys fly through.
Are the fight scenes good?
No, they're bad. they're really not very good. And the fight's over. Christopher McDonald shows up to rescue his wife. What happened? No one will testify against these guys. I didn't see anything. I don't want any trouble. So the movie keeps going. Eventually, I'm just going to skip a whole bunch. Eventually, you find out that Arlie Army isn't really the really bad guy that he's made out to be. He just believes in heavy segregation. He just wants all races completely separated. Whereas generic white supremacist dude wants violent revolution. So he stabs Arlie Army to death in front of people, and then gives a speech akin to the speech at the end of or towards the end of The Force Awakens, where the guy says, "A new galactic empire," but in front of all of his white supremacist friends. Oh God, it is ridiculous. Let me put it this way. At one point, Philip Ray, who plays Tommy, is being he's being run down by 3 different motorcycles. He turns, jumps in the air, and kicks the 3 different guys in the face on one jump.
Impressive.
It's not funny. It's just professional.
Oh my God. It's so the silence there really hurt me. But he jumps in the air and kicks 3 dudes in the face who are 10 feet apart. Best of the best. I'll stop there. You guys aren't feeling it. Everybody should totally watch Best. You don't have to watch the first 2, but you got to watch Best of the Best 3. Next week, I'm doing Best of the Best 4.
How many are there?
I think there were 6.
No, there's only 4. I can only
thank God.
find 4.
One more week.
But this movie is from 1995, and
Wait a minute. It was 7 years after.
Oh yeah.
Best of the Best 2. First of all, Best of the Best 2. The premise doesn't sound that bad. I'm kind of,
The premise of this movie doesn't sound that bad.
Best of the Best 2.
This one was also
you
directed
fight,
by.
and if you beat the main guy,
Got behind the chair.
Yeah,
Or got behind the camera.
double duty
God.
now. I think he was also involved in the story.
if you beat the main guy in part 2, you own the casino.
Oh.
There's a drag out, beat 'em up fight where Philip Ree is going 1-on-1 with the head white supremacist dude, and it turns into a knife fight, and then at the end he has him beat. Philip Ree, good triumphs over evil, and the white supremacist guy wants him to kill him. He's like, "End it," and Philip Ree says no, and he stabs the ground next to his head, and he's like, "Hate is not the answer," and he gets up to walk away. And while he's walking away, past the 200 white supremacist guys who are gathered around, the guy stands up and grabs a rifle and goes to shoot it, and then waitress lady's kid shoots him down because he's learned, hate is not the answer.
Hate's not the answer.
Yeah.
Now he's a murderer.
Yeah, right.
Wait a second.
Hey, apparently is the answer.
Yeah, he shoots him to death. And then Philip Ree walks away, and I guess he runs off with Gina Gershon for a while. I don't like Gina Gershon's mouth.
I'm a Gina Gershon fan.
I think I can get past her mouth.
The only scene, most of the movie, she's wearing like school marm clothes. Like she does not
she's
look.
toned down a little bit.
She's not sexy
showgirl.
in this movie at all. And the one scene where she does, like, where she does like get like her clothes, they're getting torn off because it's an attempted rape. So it's like, oh Jesus Christ! Like why are you in this movie? Because you're not acting, but two, like you don't have to be in this movie just because you're like a hot chick. But this is the one scene, like there's like that it's kind of like a late 70s 80s mentality where the only way to get to sexualize a woman was to like enact a rape scene like that. You'll see that in a lot of barbarian movies, is like constant rape, and that's how they were able to get like bare breast and stuff onto the screen because, well, you know, it doesn't fit any other way. We'll just force them to do it. So it's like a weird.
It was a fun
leftover.
It was a fun time in
It
movies.
was not a fun scene to watch either. But then
For nudity appropriate, watch White Girl on Netflix.
Philip Ree shows up and rescues her from the rape. It doesn't happen. And then it turns out everything in her apartment is made of breakaway glass because he just keeps kicking dudes in the breakaway glass. The end.
Does insurance cover that?
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. All right, so last week we had a new segment called Matt's, what was it? The Matt's Combat Nation?
Yes.
I don't know. I got clever. And
Were you though?
yeah, I'm very clever. And the question was,
Right.
what is your favorite Adam Sandler movie that isn't Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore?
Punch Drunk Love.
Ooh, Punch Drunk Love's a
It's
good movie.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Wedding Singer Jill P says The Wedding Singer. Christy agrees. She says The Wedding Singer, and she also says Big Daddy is very good. And she always,
I would go with Big Daddy. I always liked that.
yeah, I'd have to go with Big Daddy too. I think I know every line from that movie.
You guys don't like The Water Boy?
And well, that's what Gina D says.
Gina D.
Oh, Gina
She
D.
says Waterboy, and then I think it's a laughy emoticon, but with water streaming out of his face 3 times. I like describing the emoticons. And then Liz G, she says, trick question, there are none. And
Good one, Liz.
I said, you haven't seen the one where he plays his own twin sister? And she replied,
Jack
you
and
know,
Jill.
I missed it, but she caught the one where he has a magic remote. I'm going to say, click will hit you in the heart.
Tears at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
That movie.
Click will get you.
Click's a movie that you went to see for laughs
Yeah.
and you came out crying.
You
were
went to see because of that one scene with the girl running in slow motion.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, it'll be like an hour. And then, oh my God, I'm feeling things.
You're like, wow, that movie was really emotional.
And that was about it for our responses. So
Funny. I liked funny people too. I know a lot of people didn't like
I did not like it.
I thought it was pretty good.
I like that movie. I like that movie a lot, actually, but I still think Punch Drunk Love is my favorite Adam
I love
Sandler
Punch
movie.
Drunk Love.
I
think
wish
that's an
he would do
excellent movie.
more,
Serious.
and not these like terrible, like what's the one on Netflix?
All he cares
Yeah,
about
Ridiculous
is
Six.
So much money.
What? Well, he has a deal with Netflix now, so he makes a movie a
they
year
just
with
make
Netflix.
terrible. What was the one movie?
Yeah, but they make
with
money. It's
Yeah.
they all make money.
David Spade that came out last year. That was
Well, it's all him and all his boys. He brings his
You
crew
think-
in, and
you
they
think
make
it's
a
like-
movie for like not a lot of money. And
If you were friends with Adam Sandler, you'd still be working.
yeah,
Like,
but I'd
that's
be
all
like,
those
hey,
guys
why
do.
don't we make something good?
No, they don't care. They're half of those guys are old SNL guys. They're
Yeah.
just happy to still be getting a decent paycheck. All right, so Ray's random request for this week.
oh, I was expecting Matt to give a question.
No,
so now
please,
I'm
you go first.
now I'm not prepared.
Or we could do what we did last week with the combo question.
I don't want to do that.
I think we should do it. Ray, ask the beginning of a question, but don't use the "what's your favorite."
Right.
Do something.
The suspense is
The silence is deafening. Name a movie that you thought was going to be
bad, but turned out to be very good.
Oh, that's
lame.
That's lame. Come on. You're better than that.
I mean, you said
All right, you start it. You start it. I'll finish it.
name a movie that you thought was going to be.
No. Started a different way.
What?
Oh, all right.
I got. Wait, hold on.
You know, you say a word, then I'll say a word. All right,
Go ahead. You go.
What film noir?
What?
Oh, he pointed at me. I couldn't focus on your.
The big finger. I'm sorry.
Wait. So wait, let's start over.
Here we go.
Just
Go ahead.
what
Go ahead.
film?
What film?
Do you prefer?
To make love to.
Okay, here's a good one.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No, I got like a full question. I'm
Okay.
not gonna do it.
Oh,
So,
good.
in regards to Nick's, Nick watching all the best of the best, what is your favorite, like, how would you say it? Like,
Anthology.
anthology
Or
But-
movie series?
movie series that definitely went on for too long, but there was like a hidden gem in there somewhere. So like,
Star Wars.
so you could say the Fast and the Furious movies. I know a lot of people like the later ones.
Yeah.
Halloween
Halloween
4 is good.
Good, yeah.
Halloween 3. He's not even in the movie.
Season of the Witch,
Yeah.
which is sneaky good.
That is terrible.
One of Charlie's a big fan.
So
of
yeah,
Season of the
Charlie loved it.
He
yeah.
would be.
Witch. Yeah. So a movie or
Toxic
like
Avenger
Friday the
4?
13th. There's like 1,000 of those.
Yeah. Freddy what's the one where he's in
Freddy
space?
goes
Is
to
that
watch
Yeah.
Jason X?
Jason X is when he goes to space. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah. So
Saw
favorite
it in
movie
theaters.
movie anthology, and it can be bad. It can be bad movies, but just ones that get so ridiculous that they're good, like the one like Nick's been watching, the best of the best.
Can't wait to get to Best of the Best 4. I almost watched it right away, but I wanted to save it for next week. All right,
You're welcome
well,
for saving
Wait,
everybody.
do I get
got-
a question now?
Nope.
Okay.
So we got a little extra time to kill.
Sure.
Great.
You want to play the game, Ray?
Sure.
Okay, so Matt, last week 2 weeks ago we played a new game where I'm gonna say an actor, and then Ray will say a movie that actor was in.
Can I do an impression of the actor?
No.
No, and then you're gonna name your movie, right?
Yeah.
Actor, movie, and then you name another actor from the movie Ray was in.
We just go in a circle.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I do
that's
that, and then we'll slowly just get eliminated.
I listened to it. I think I.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
You could have
All right, geez.
spoken up about.
We have to
Well,
explain it
I
again.
like to
2
watch
minutes
you
ago.
stumble, think your way through a sentence.
All right. So I'll start with D.B. Sweeney.
I don't know any. Oh, Fire in the Sky.
No, I name another movie that D.B. Sweeney was in. Or?
No.
No,
Name
another
another
actor
actor in
from
Fire in the
Fire-
Sky.
Robert
Yeah.
Patrick.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Nice. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, and then you have to know the answer
Yeah.
to the one that you
I
said.
say Arnold Schwarzenegger, meaning I need to know a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger was in.
Right.
Oh,
That's the
I can't just like say Arnold Schwarzenegger and then not know anything he was in.
so when I say a movie, do I have to know another actor in the movie?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Red Heat.
Jesus.
John Belushi? Jim
You
Belushi?
got it, man.
Jim Belushi. I want to say according to Jim, but that's a TV show. I don't know. I guess I'm out.
I've got one.
Yeah. What?
Oh no, it's not. We're not done yet. So
Yeah,
That's
but, yeah,
got
but
it.
don't you?
Do I have to come
don't
back
have
with
to-
you
Jim
can call
Belushi
me
movie?
on it. You can
Yeah,
call me.
I'm calling
Oh.
you on it.
K911.
Oh my God, I think you're right.
So that's
Yeah.
another Jim Belushi movie I know.
Then
All
I
right,
win.
so I'm out.
You were out. All right.
Now it's just you two.
All right. So, since you're the guest, you're sitting in the back of the studio.
Yeah.
I'll let you pick. Do you want actor or movie?
Pick movie.
Okay. I'll go first then. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Ray, you start us off.
The Last Temptation.
I'm out.
Christ.
Yeah, you're out, but you can just
I can
start us off
you guys
with
off.
with
Okay.
a unbiased word. You can name either a movie or an actor since you're starting.
All right, I'll go movie. I'll go Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
All right, and then I'll go because I'm actor.
I'm never going to get... Okay, go ahead.
Richard Dreyfuss. I'm Richard Dreyfuss.
It's got to be quick. You can't.
Yeah, you got
All
to...
right, well, Jaws.
There you
I was
go.
going to say Mr. Holland's Opus, but...
Yeah, no one knows anybody else. Roy Scheider.
Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder.
I like how I'm on the outside looking in here.
Yeah. Blue Thunder. I've never even heard of that. Is that a real thing?
It's a great movie. You should watch it. It's about a helicopter.
Okay.
Helicopter cop.
I'm thinking. I got nothing.
I don't remember the name of the actor.
Oh!
So that doesn't count.
Yeah. All right, I win.
You win, I guess.
All right. Sweet.
Today's victor is not named Victor at all.
All right, Ray, we're tied now.
Yeah.
1-1. All right.
0-1?
You have
Name
no
movies
win.
that you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
looking
the
this up
game,
right
you know.
now.
Like you kind of hope the next that they keep it alive.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're listening to us right now on the Podcast Radio Network, we have a brand new time. We come on at 10 o'clock now, Ray,
Okay.
instead of 10:30.
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern was in Blue Thunder.
Yeah, he's the young partner.
Wow. Jesus.
Oh, Malcolm McDowell too. All-star cast. You should watch that one.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
check us out on the Podcast Radio Network Wednesdays at 10 p.m. If you're interested in hearing more from us, get in touch with us on our Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the social stuff. Check us out at thisweekinfilm.com because we have that now, Ray. We have just This Week in Film.
Yeah.
And you can find us on all the regular places, SoundCloud, iTunes, all that stuff. You guys have anything to plug?
No. Got nothing.
Nope.
Check out Charlie's book. The cool paperback of it all in black and white is out. It's
Yeah,
really
pretty sweet.
cool looking. And if that's the end of the reel, we'll see you next week in film.
See ya.
Bye.